Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Rob Code Show. On today's episode, I want to talk about why we're at war with Iran, who we're fighting for, let's see, where this could lead, and what Trump's fellow Republicans have to say about everything that's unfolded so far. Last episode, I gave you a rundown of what has happened so far, and what we're not at war for, but what they were telling us we were at war for. So if you haven't seen that, make sure you check that episode out. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this with a friend. Just to start things off, I might do this every once in a while where I just hold Trump accountable because someone has to. I'm just going to play this clip and then we'll get into present time. But this is Trump in 2015 calling out Jeb Bush, George Bush's brother, who got us into the war with Iraq and Afghanistan and these places like that. So let's see what he had to say here.
The war in Iraq, we spent $2 trillion, thousands of lives. We don't even have it. Iran is taking over Iraq with the second largest oil reserves in the world. Obviously, it was a mistake.
So
George Bush made a mistake. We can make mistakes, but that one was a beauty. We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East.
But so you still think he should be
I
impeached?
think it's my turn, isn't it?
You do whatever you want. You call it whatever you want. I want to tell you, they lied.
Okay.
They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass
Okay.
destruction.
All right.
Kind of reminds you of today's time where they're saying there's nuclear weapons and we're, as he just said, destabilizing in the Middle East. Kind of seems very similar. I just want to know what the hell happened to that guy, because he seemed passionate. He seemed real. You've seen people in the crowd cheering him on as he said it. You know, this was the beginning of the Trump legacy. This was one of the many moments that got him into the White Office to begin with. The White House, excuse me. I said the White Office. Whatever. You know what I mean. But somebody's got to hold him accountable. So every once in a while, I'm going to share these clips of back in the good old days when he was anti-war. Like a normal person, not pro-war, like a blood-sucking vampire. All right, so let's move on. So, as I said in the last episode, we had 4 service members last time I checked that was lost. I'm not sure if there's been more after I'm done with this episode. I'm going to get caught up on the news. But here's so you've seen the clip of Trump in 2016. Let's see or 2015 maybe. Let's see him in 2026. Let's see what he has to say now. Same guy, pretty much.
And send our immense love and eternal gratitude to the families of the fallen. And sadly, there will likely be more. Before it ends, that's the way it is. Likely be more, but send.
That's the way it is, folks. It is what it is. There will likely be more. I will likely have to send more of your children overseas to die for my causes. Or Israel's causes, whose ever causes. Not America's causes, not anything that's affecting you at home. Like I said in the last episode, I have no fear of anyone from Iran. Well, I guess there was that mass shooting in Austin, Texas, where that guy was wearing that hoodie that said property of Allah. But that was after we bought, I don't have an issue with those people over there in the Middle East. Benjamin Netanyahu does. That's his problem. But yeah, as he said, it is what it is. More lives may be lost. Who knows? Who knows? It is what it is. So what the hell happened? Because I just don't understand how we got to these pointless, useless wars. And now we're at this point where we're saying it is what it is. Americans may die. It is what it is. So, who are we fighting for? That's the question. That's my question. Let's see what Marco Rubio has to say here.
The second question that's been asked is, why now? Well, there's two reasons why now. The first is it was abundantly clear that if Iran came under attack by anyone, the United States or Israel or anyone, they were going to respond against the United States. The orders had been delegated down to the field commanders. It was automatic, and in fact, it bared to be true, because in fact, within an hour of the initial attack on the leadership compound, the missile forces in the south and in the north, for that matter, had already been activated to launch. In fact, those had already been pre-positioned. The third is the assessment that was made that if we stood and waited for that attack to come first before we hit them, we would suffer much higher casualties. And so the president made the very wise decision. We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces. And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed. And then we would all be here answering questions about why we knew that and didn't act. Going back.
So, if you didn't catch that towards the end, this must be that 5D chess that the Republicans are always talking about. So I'll just read Savannah Hernandez's caption because she spells it out pretty clearly. Crazy to hear Marco Rubio say that Israel knew that if they attacked Iran, the United States and our servicemen were going to pay the price. But they didn't care and forced our hand, leading to the death of Americans. Infuriating to hear. So she didn't say it clearly enough, but still, shout out to Sav. She's a really good independent journalist, and she's got a shout out before on this show. He just said that we felt as though, we felt as though that Israel was going to attack Iran. So... And when they attacked Iran, now this is all hypothetical. We're at the drawing board. So we feel as though, as America, that Israel was going to attack Iran. And when Iran got attacked by Israel, aka Israel and the United States, because we supply them with the weaponry, then they would attack back and hit Israel as well as United States bases around Iran, close to Iran in the Middle East. So we just went ahead and attacked them first because we knew that we would get sucked into it by Israel regardless. So we just went ahead and tried to squash the bug as harshly as possible. If I got a friend, air quotes, a friend, and every time we go out, he gets into a bar fight. We go out, we have a couple drinks, and this guy keeps getting into bar fights, and I have to fight with him because he's my friend. But one of these nights I say, hey, friend, please, let's stop with the fights. We're getting beat up pretty badly here. I'm running out of juice. I'm sick of getting in a fight every weekend. And then he goes out and starts another fight. At some point, I'm going to say this isn't a friend of mine. And this is the United States and Israel. Israel keeps going around picking these fucking fights in the Middle East. And the United States got to keep going along with it. Why do we have to keep going along with it? Why do we keep defending this whack job country? Or excuse me, I don't mean that to sound like everyone there is whack jobs. This whack job government. Like these two, the United States and Israel, are horrible together. They just go around destabilizing everything just if they hear a whisper of a threat. And the biggest threat is us. We're the threat. But yeah, It's pretty much for Israel. We got to defend Israel, he said. And Israel's going to start the fight. They were going to hit them. So we had to hit them first. Good Lord, man. Here's another one. Coming from Owen Schroyer. They keep telling you this war is for Israel, and people on here will deny it, meaning on X.
Israel faced an existential risk, and they were prepared to strike Iran alone. If that happened, Iran was very likely to target our troops. That may address the question of why now? Why not 2 weeks ago? Why not 2 months from?
You know what? Why are our troops in the Middle East anyway? Bring our troops home, bro. See, this is the America First thing. This is why bring our troops home. Why the fuck are the troops in the Middle East where they're going to get hit anyway? Huh? And you heard them just say it again. Israel was going to hit them first. We can't tell them no. We can't tell them stop, even though we're funding everything that they fucking do. These people live a fucking really nice life off of our American tax dollars. But we can't tell them no. We can't tell them stop for some reason. You heard the guy. I'm going to start it from the top because it's just finally they're saying the quiet part out loud.
Israel faced an existential risk, and they were prepared to strike Iran alone. If that happened, Iran was very likely to target our troops. That may address the question of why now? Why not 2 weeks ago? Why not 2 months from now? The president, though, did not want to put our troops in harm's way.
Well, too late for that. We already lost 4 of them. The president didn't want to put our troops in harm's way. Yeah, too fucking late for that. Nice job, buddy. I pulled this tweet up. I dug this out from the old recycle bin. Coming from yours truly on July 30th, 2025. I really don't like to entertain the idea of Israel being in control of the United States. That sounds ridiculous. But sometimes it really, really seems like Israel is in control of the United States. Yeah. Once again, that was in July 30th or June 30, 2025. You know, and that's when I was just starting to wake up to this shit. It wasn't very much long ago, but long enough ago where I'm just like, what the hell is going on? Why can't we tell these people no? Why can't we tell these people to chill? Why do we keep getting sucked into their bullshit? So, let's play this clip. And in case you want to know what's next, what's America's next move? Where do we go from here? We're at war. Does this lead to World War III? What are we going to do next? What are my tax dollars going to do next? Mr. Hegseth, what say you?
Thank you, Secretary Hegseth. I had 2 questions for you. First, are there currently any American boots on the ground in Iran?
No, but we're not going to go into the exercise of what we will or will not do. I think it's one of those fallacies for a long time that this department or presidents or others should tell the American people, this and our enemies, by the way, here's exactly what we'll do. Here's exactly how long we'll go. Here's exactly how far we'll go. Here's what we're willing to do and not do. It's foolishness. And so President Trump ensures that our enemies understand we'll go as far as we need to go to advance American interests. But we're not dumb about it. You don't have to roll 200,000 people in there and stay for 20 years. We've proven that you can achieve objectives that advance American interests without being foolish about it. Now, will we be bold about it? Are we willing to be decisive about it? Do we put months and months of planning into what kind of effects we want to achieve? Absolutely. But going forward, why in the world would we tell you, the enemy, anybody, what we will or will not do in pursuit of an objective? We fight to win. We fight to achieve the objectives the President of the United States has laid out, and we will do so unapologetically. Thank you.
So what about Congress? What about getting this approved by Congress? Like what happened to the process? You talking all this big shit. Since when do we have to? I don't know. Since the fucking Constitution. Like, you may not have to, I get it. You don't have to put your military secrets out there in the eye of the enemy and all this other shit. And the general public probably wouldn't approve of it. I'm sure you know that, Mr. Hestef. I'm sure you've seen the polls where you've seen that the general public doesn't really approve of this too much. So, yeah, I could see why you would want to keep it kind of secrecy. But you act like you got this shit approved by Congress, and this was, with Bush, at least heading to Iran, it went through the process, and there was actually some drive behind it. America got hit. There was patriotism in the country, and we wanted to go get those people over there that did that to us. There was a movement. With this, we don't really see the point. We don't really, I personally, I can't speak for the whole country, but a lot of people don't really understand why the hell we're doing this. And on top of that, you didn't get this approved by Congress. We just woke up on a Saturday morning and we were damn near World War III. So you up there talking big shit when you're breaking the law, asshole. Committing war crimes. And we'll do this however long it takes. However long it takes to follow through with the president's agenda, he says. And we've already, see, this is that sugar high that I was talking about in the last episode. Like these people, they think we're invincible. They think that shit don't stink. That there's going to be zero blowback for this. Maybe they're right. Who knows? Maybe I am a panicking. But I look, call me whatever you want. I'm just saying this shit is out of pocket. This isn't normal. You didn't get this approved by Congress. This didn't go through the process. What the hell is going on? But we'll do and so back to the sugar high. So they're talking about like how but this shouldn't take long because we've already showed how effective our military could be. With the midnight hammer and all the other things. So we're invincible. We've already shown you that we're invincible. So chill out. Just for shits and gigs, I pulled this up. In March 2003, then Vice President Dick Cheney famously predicted that the Iraq War would last weeks rather than months, asserting U.S. forces would be greeted as liberators. This all sounds very familiar. Asserting that U.S. forces would be greeted as liberators. This claim, intended to project a swift victory, proved incorrect, as the conflict extended into a decade-long engagement, coming from Reuters. Cool. But we're saying the same thing now. We're saying pretty much the same mass destructive, the weapons of mass destruction lines. We're saying we're going to be in and out of there in weeks. I've seen reports coming from somewhere else that they said this is going to take we'll be there for like 4 weeks, I think they said. 4 to 6 weeks. They're literally using the same script, people. Wake up. They're using the same script. But if you say that, we're getting too out of control, what if I said the 12-day war that began 8 months never ended? What if I say that? What if I just said we had a small little break? And the 12-day war that we tried to claim a victory for is still ongoing. So that's already 8 to 9 months that we've been in this thing. But since you wanted to claim a victory, we smacked the hell out of them and we claimed a victory. That's what we do. We sucker punch a guy and be like, all right, the fight's over. Fight's over. I won. That's what we do. That's what we do. But I think the fight's still going, personally. And I think, bro, it's so, yeah. Like I said, we've seen this script before. Like, they don't even come up with a new movie for us. They just keep replaying reruns, it seems like, using the same script. So what are the people in Congress saying? What are Trump's fellow Republicans saying about all this? Let's go over to Representative Anna Paulina Luna. Excuse me. I don't mean to screw your name up like that, ma'am. Sorry about that.
Where, can you just tell me really quickly, where have they killed thousands of Americans in America?
I didn't say they killed thousands of Americans in America. I said that they have been responsible for thousands of Americans being killed. And I think that that's easily something that you can verify. I don't know, state-sponsored terrorism for starters. Are you serious right now about that whole thing? I'm not going to list out exact specific locations. They've literally been responsible for sponsored terrorism.
Are you talking about the Iraq war where the U.S. invaded?
You can start out by the three that they just killed. Okay, the whole point of your network, if you want to actually talk about the facts here, I'm giving you the facts. But I'm not going to sit here and argue with you about something that's commonly accepted and known.
Congresswoman, you don't have a good understanding of the
conflict. Well, I'm the one that's getting the briefings, not you. You're a pundit offering your opinion because you want clickbait, but aren't actually interested in the substance.
No, not at all.
We can talk about the fact that Obama sent millions of...
So this is the new thing that the Republican Party does. They get asked questions that they don't want to get asked. And they get real disrespectful and nasty back. And it's clearly something that Trump started, he's really changed politics in a certain way because you see all the people that kind of admire him. They do this where they get asked a question. And what's the secretary, the White House secretary lady? She get asked a question and she gets real disrespectful. I think it was her that even threw out that "Yo Mama" joke, which I mean, like I'm torn. I mean, it's funny, but at the same time, we're talking about fucking war here. And you're throwing shade at this guy. You're just a pundit on the internet, and I'm the guy, and I'm the girl making the decisions. Yeah, that's why I want you to tell me why you're saying that that Iran is responsible for thousands of America's deaths. Where are you getting this from? And she's like, you could look it up online. You idiot. Look it up online. Why are you questioning me?
Millions of dollars to the Iranian regime, or do you not want to address that because it's not supported by your opinion and your network?
No, not at all.
Is this really even something that we're going to actually get to substance here, or are you going to continue to attack this?
No, it seems like you just want to filibuster. It seems like you don't really want to have a good faith conversation.
Or you just don't like what I'm saying.
No, we would have invited you on the air.
This happens every time I'm on with you.
Yeah, you keep coming on every time, and you keep...
She says or maybe you just don't like what I'm saying. You're not saying anything. You're not saying anything. He asked you a question and you couldn't answer it. And now you're just getting rude and hostile.
Stating a lot of things that are incorrect. The United States launched an attack on Iran.
About it, except for you.
The United States launched a war against Iran right now. Iran retaliated, in which American members... Strikes. You can call it whatever you want to call it, but at the end of the day, the Iranians responded and killed 3 American service members. So what we're trying to get at is you make an assertion on this air that it's not an invasion when America sends fighter jets and Israel sent fighter jets into another country.
Boots on the ground are not going to happen. Congress will not vote on war with Iran because that is not something that we support, and that is not something that the administration supports.
That's actually what the Constitution says that in Article 1, but I guess you think Article 2 is more important, so it's up to you.
Article 2 is when the U.S. citizens and our military are in direct imminent threat, the president reserves the authority.
Yeah, well, he hasn't made that case to the American public or Congress, and that's the problem, and that's why he's supposed to go to Congress.
Well, he's not going to give you classified intelligence
information.
He's
not supposed to give it to me. He's supposed to give it to members of Congress. He's supposed to go give it to members of Congress. That's exactly why members of Congress. You're only one. There are 435 members and 100 senators, and others have not gotten it. You're not the only one who gets to speak on behalf of the American people.
Prior to the strike.
Anyway, unfortunately, we're out of time.
There was actually a briefing
really appreciate you coming
there
on.
you go. You don't want to hear the facts. They got a briefing.
It's not a fact. I'm telling you what other members of Congress have said, and that's the whole point of them being able.
She still hasn't backed up the claim where she's saying, there you go, you don't want to hear the facts. You still haven't backed up this claim where Iran killed thousands of America. Like thousands of Americans. You still haven't done that. You're talking about, you wait till 2.5 minutes in to say, there you go, you don't want to hear the fact. You just wasted 2.5 minutes of our time. You know, this is really frightening to me, man. This is really frightening to me. I'm not even going to lie. Like, who are these people? Who are these people? Oh my God, this guy. Dun dun dun. Lindsey fucking Graham, ladies and gentlemen. The bloodthirstiest of them all. Like, I hate this fucking guy. Let's see what he's got to say.
Is President Trump finished the job that President Reagan failed to do. I am a big admirer of Ronald Reagan, but I'm here to tell you that Donald Trump, in my opinion, is the gold standard for Republicans, maybe any president, and when it comes to foreign policy. Maduro, everybody talked about him. Well, Donald Trump's got him in jail. Cuba's next. They're going to fall. This communist dictatorship in Cuba, their days are numbered. The Iranian regime, the mothership of international terrorism, is about to collapse. The captain of the ship, the Ayatollah, is stone cold dead. All is President.
Listen to him. He gets up on there and brags about the war crimes that our president has committed. Maduro, everybody thought he was a threat. We snatched him up. You know, like, he's up there like, dude, shut the hell up. Shut up. Keep this guy out of the White House. Get him out of office. I can't believe some of the shit that he says out of his mouth. He's just the nastiest man that we have in D.C. right now, in my opinion, besides the people in the Trump administration itself. But yeah, so there you have it. Cuba could be next, he says. Cuba could be next. He's got don't worry, Lindsey got a whole list for you of places. Lindsey's list. That's what we'll call it, Lindsey's list. He's got a whole list of places that he wants Trump to fucking overthrow. Good Lord, man. Good Lord. This is not good, people. Anybody celebrating this is just fucking nuts, man. And I have to say, I'll end it now after this, but I have to say, like, it just makes you think what happened between those two Trump clips in the beginning, 2015 and 2026. What changed? Is it the money? Or, like, what made you go from I'm not sending people overseas to, yeah, we had 4 people die. It is what it is. And more will come. More will come. What happened there? Was it the money? Is it Epstein? Is it Israel has Epstein files as well that they'll be releasing if you don't play along? Do you have a gun to your head? Like, blink twice if you need help. What exactly is going on, bro? Because why the fuck are we just risking it all for Israel like this on a foundation of lies? A foundation of lies. I don't believe this nuclear shit. And if you didn't watch the last episode, I had a clip where Bibi Netanyahu for the last 30 years, 30 years, has been saying Iran is this close to getting a nuclear weapon. It's not about nuclear. They're not getting that shit. They already told us they're not doing that. They told us they're not fucking doing that. Man, it's crazy times. The news is unfolding very quickly. I just wanted to share those clips with you because I thought that they were all very terrifying, I would say, if I had to put them all in the same bucket. Very terrifying and alarming that these are the people that's steering us in this direction. So, yeah, I wish everyone safety, and we'll end it there for this moment. I'll holler at you guys later. Make sure you like, subscribe, and send to a friend. Peace out.